The following program is the work of broadcast students from the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland over the past week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their BCIT instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, we meet a man trying to provide clean water in Ethiopia.
And we see what's going on in the election race in downtown Vancouver, a race of all women. Hi, and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Keenan Kipp.
And I'm Jonathan Horst. Here on the campus of BCIT is housed the Rivers Institute. And on Thursday they held the Water for Life benefit concert. I met up with the man who put the event together. His name is Mark Angelo, and he's loved rivers all his life.
Okay. Well, I've had a fascination with moving water as long as I can remember.
He chairs the Rivers Institute, an organization that works on preserving and restoring waterways in British Columbia. The organization has played a large role in the restoration of Gishon Creek on the BCIT campus. But Angelo's big project now is the Water for Life benefit concert.
The genesis of the benefit concert goes back to the time I spent in Ethiopia last summer. And I spent quite a bit of time with the Hamir people. They are people that lived up in the hills, far away from the Omo River. They have always lived there, but one of the challenges associated with living in that part of the country is the lack of available and accessible water.
Angelo began to think about how he could help them after the experiences from the trip.
So I got up one morning at 6 and I went out with 7 women and their daughters, and we walked literally about 3 hours to get to water. We filled up our calabash gourds and jerry cans with water and took us about 4 hours to get back. So it was a 7-hour ordeal.
Tom Serra works with Angelo in the Institute, and the benefit concert has kept them both busy. But they ultimately want to get people to think about how they use their water.
I think it's certainly given us another perspective on how we use water, and I know I certainly have become a lot more conscious. You know, I think of the story and the passion that Mark uses, that he has when he talks about his experience, and it certainly it trickles down to us as well.
Thursday's concert was filmed as part of a global TV special that will air later this year. Jonathan Horst in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
With the Canadian federal election fast approaching, I found out that one Metro Vancouver riding has a unique list of candidates. With the countdown on to the May 2nd federal election, the riding of Vancouver Centre is preparing for a unique situation, an all-female ballot. NDP candidate Karen Shillington says this situation is a reflection of the riding itself.
Well, I think it shows that Vancouver Centre is a very diverse community and highly educated constituency, actually. So I think with having Hetty Fry being in as MP for so many years, I think that it's really led the way for women to feel comfortable being candidates. And so I'm really excited to be on the stage with so many high-powered women.
While Fry says having 4 female candidates is unusual, she doesn't think it will have an effect on the way people vote.
I found that Canadians don't seem to care whether it's a man or a woman. They either vote for the person or they vote for the party, and sometimes for the leader. And so I don't think it matters to them.
Green candidate Adrienne Carr agrees with Fry, but also says for some women, gender does play a big role in their decision.
I think there's a lot of women who vote on the basis of the fact that they want to see more women in politics. But it's not all women. I mean, many women, of course, vote on the basis of the issues that are important to them.
While Conservative Representative Jennifer Clark was unable to comment, the 3 candidates that I did speak with are hoping that this situation will lead for a nicer, more friendly race.
I'm hoping that what this would mean, and there would be some civilized debate in this riding, some courtesy extended to each other in this riding.
I don't think women, in general, I think women voters don't like the kind of attack politics, the vitriol, the nastiness that we see.
That we're going to be much more issue-oriented, perhaps, you know, and I think that'll be exciting for people because I think we're tired of just the same old attacking.
And with less time needed to fend off personal attacks, more energy can be focused on setting up the campaign office. Keenan Kipp in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
So Keenan, is this the first time there's been a riding with all-female candidates?
Well, Jonathan, it's actually not. When Hetty Fry ran in 1993, she was also up against only female candidates, including Kim Campbell and Betty Baxter. But when I spoke with Karen Shillington, she said this is actually the opposite of the situation that she had in 1997 when she was the only female candidate in her riding. So it's not actually a historical first, but it is an unusual situation for sure.
And now for a lighter look at the election. A local Vancouver restaurant has created a burger for each of the political parties. And as reporter Jean Law found out, they're taking an unscientific poll to see which leader has the biggest bite.
If you're looking for a fiscally responsible burger, or maybe something with a liberal helping of sides, maybe a burger with Jack cheddar cheese or something off the old block. Maybe you just want something with greens. Well, at Burger Heaven in Westminster, they're holding their bun official election poll.
This bun official poll has been going on for roughly around 20 years or so. It's almost been since just about day one this place is open. We've taken a lighthearted look into the political aspect of things and trying to get our customers more involved.
Even though management at Burger Heaven stresses their poll is unbiased and fair, it has attracted some controversy.
I'm concerned about this particular poll because I think there's been a little bit of imbalance in the wording of the poll, because up to now it's been objective, it's been a great predictor, but I'm afraid that today I'm here to report that it's a little bit distorted. Well, I'm just going through and we've got the conservative slice of Canadian cheese, and then we've got Ignatieff with American cheese. And that, for example, is just egregious editorializing that I don't think is acceptable.
Not so, says management.
No favoritism at all, and that's what this poll is based on from the standpoint of the staff.
Regardless of any concerns over the poll, there were no concerns over the burger. Jean Law in Westminster for BCIT Magazine.
Michael Ignatieff will get that one-on-one debate he wanted with Stephen Harper, sort of. The Liberal leader will face off against the Prime Minister for a grand total of 12 minutes in the nationally televised debates this week. All four leaders will each get 6 minutes of FaceTime with all of their opponents during Tuesday's English debate and the April 14th French debate. The back-and-forth conversations are also returning to a more traditional format. Gone is the round table from 2008 that was supposed to liven up the discussion.
In the wake of the recent killing of sled dogs in Whistler, the provincial government has provided more funding to the BC SPCA. Speaking at the BC SPCA on Tuesday, newly minted Premier Christy Clark announced $100,000 of new funding to support animal cruelty investigations and claims government's responsibility to provide those funds to fight animal mistreatment.
Going forward, as you know, there hasn't been any provincial support for animal cruelty investigations. And so what we are doing today is not just announcing $100,000 to support this investigation, but also in years ahead to continue to financially support the SPCA in being able to do their animal cruelty investigations. I think that's been a real gap in the operation of government.
Well, I don't think anything can make up for what happened. We were all horrified by that, and I don't think it's reflective of the industry. It's not reflective of British Columbians. It's not how we feel about animals. But, you know, we have to talk about the future and where we go from here. And, you know, I'm just so proud of this government and the Premier Clark wanting to lead Canada in terms of animal welfare and protecting animals, and I think that's where we're going.
Coming up after the break, it's Vancouver's 125th birthday, and we get a look at the giant cake.
And on this week's Horsepower, I try out a new car designed for young people.